Hi everybody, foXnoMad here, and today I want to help you travel smarter by issuing a warning. Well, you read the title, you know what it is. It's don't fly Turkish Airlines, at least for now. Here's why. So I, like many other people, had flights scheduled about 4 months ago before all these COVID lockdowns, and had my flights canceled by Turkish Airlines, understandably due to all the travel restrictions that were happening. But now 4 months later, you would think that I or some other customers at least would have gotten a refund for those canceled flights. And as of today, there have been no refunds issued to any customers for canceled flights, even though it's clearly stated in their passenger rights policy that you deserve a refund if Turkish Airlines cancels the flights, which conflicts with the newer policy that they have, which says basically if you've not scheduled your trip, if they cancel the flight, you can change it to an open ticket until December 31st, 2021 without a change fee, which okay is all right. If you schedule a new trip, you can change your ticket for a flight operating until December 31st without being affected by the high volume of requests and fare changes, whatever that means. Or this lovely option, which is if you want to add value to the price of your purchase ticket, you can obtain a refund in miles. In accordance with your request, you'll get 1,000 miles for your Miles and Smiles program for every 10 euro of your ticket value, which, if you add all of that up, would mean that it would cost you about 6,000 euros in miles to have a round trip ticket. So I'm assuming that your ticket, unless you're flying first class, is not 6,000 euro. So if you change those over into miles, that's just pretty much a terrible option. Now, why is all of this a big deal, aside from a couple of people and a guy on YouTube who's a little bit upset that he hasn't gotten his refund back from Turkish Airlines? The problem is that Turkish Airlines now has resumed flights, and they've been advertising those flights heavily. And the flip side of that is they've been canceling a lot of flights still. For many reasons, they've been canceling a lot of flights. And now they have this new refund policy, which is basically you can change your tickets for a fee. We're not going to refund you your money if your flight's canceled, like if you're going for a wedding or some sort of event that it doesn't really make sense to change your travel plans to. Like you can't just postpone your flight and postpone all the events. Sometimes you're going somewhere for a very specific reason, and if you can't get there for that specific reason, then you just want your money back. But now Turkish Airlines is saying, we might still cancel flights, we're still canceling flights, and we conveniently changed our policy, at least in most places, at least not in the passenger rights policy. We've changed our policy in most places to say that you can change that ticket without a fee, but we're not going to give you your money back. And you can even see on all of their heavily promoted flights, you can see people are the first thing that comes up. You can see on Twitter, for example, Turkish Airlines canceled the flight 3 weeks before departure and offer no refund, but only a credit for future travel. Is this fair? After 3 months and too many follow-up, I'm not getting any feedback from Turkish Airlines on my suspended flight. Please give people money back or at least communicate with them. I only found out that my ticket has been mysteriously canceled by them, Turkish Airlines, during my attempt at web check-in. My luggage was packed, my taxi had been booked to Manchester Airport. Turkish Airlines, the flight that cannot fly. Let's keep going. This is just a single tweet. So when I was making this video, I was going to pull up a whole bunch of different tweets and replies, and I just had to pick the top tweet randomly that they have on their Twitter pin and just go through a lot of the different comments. They're all here. Pity it is not your main priority to give people their money back. My flight was canceled in March, and after several calls and emails, I have not seen my money yet. Turkish Airlines is playing with our money and telling lies. They haven't even replied to my last email. And they even replied to one of my tweets I made joking about the situation with this copy pasta. It says, hello, the reflection of the refund amount of our passengers who have the right to a refund and whose request is registered may take time due to the density. Our wish is to overcome this process together and as soon as possible. Thank you for understanding. Now, I don't know what that means. Clearly, this is something that's been taken and probably in Turkish and just Google translated, but I think I can decipher this message, and it's basically just blowing people off. And this is the copy pasta that they're using for their replies to most people. It's either DM me or this message. Now, I get it. Turkish Airlines has had to cut many employees' hours. And according to this article here, the monthly wage bill of Turkish Airlines went down from $172 million to $13 million. And Moody's has dropped the outlook on the company further since they're $1.4 billion in debt. Now, that makes sense that they want to resume these flights as quickly as possible. It also makes sense that the customer service is going to be slower than normal because people are working less hours and they're clearly getting flooded with refund requests. But my logic is, if you can book a ticket and they can take the money out of your account in 10 seconds when you book it with your credit card, then they should be able to give you your money back pretty fairly soon after you request a refund if it's valid. And they know the flights that they've canceled. They've canceled these flights, so they clearly have a record of the flights canceled, the people that were going to be on those flights, people who have asked for a refund, so they could easily credit people back their money. And according to what they've said in the past, Turkish Airlines has said they're going to refund people about 60 days after they resume flights. They resume flights on June 10th, which means by August 10th, people should be receiving refunds. But so far, there's been no communication and there's been a lot of canceled flights. And of course, resuming flights is how Turkish Airlines is going to make money. So they're clearly quickly jumping back into this, which makes sense. They want to book and get as many flights booked as they possibly can. But there's a couple problems with this. So they're flying to the United States, they're flying to Russia, and they're flying to India, 3 countries where you have the top 5 corona case viruses. It's basically 3 of the countries in the world with the most cases that are still continuing and still going up in those countries. Turkey's been under pretty strict lockdowns for the last 4 months, which have just started to be released, although wearing masks in public is still mandatory. So accelerating flights to these countries which have high cases of coronavirus is a short-sighted way and a surefire way to have canceled flights. Those flights could easily be canceled, one, due to lack of demand. Those flights could easily be canceled due to the number of coronavirus cases, and the government could make a change whether or not they want to allow flights or continue to allow flights from those countries. So there are a lot of things up in the air right now which could lead to a canceled flight. And that flight gets canceled, then you can rebook another ticket with Turkish Airlines. It's sort of like if you order from a restaurant and you get some food and the food makes you sick and you ask for a refund and the restaurant says, you know what, we're not going to give you a refund. You can just come back here and get a free meal later. Maybe I don't want a free meal later. Maybe I just want my money back. Maybe that's what a lot of these people who are waiting for refunds want. So why would Turkish Airlines be doing this? And I think I agree with Running with Miles here, which says it looks like they're taking cash for flights they never really planned on flying. Since they won't refund cash on canceled flights until 60 days after restoring operations, they're basically getting an interest-free loan for 2 months, which seems logical to me, although it's a little bit underhanded for them to make it more difficult to get a refund for a canceled flight now, knowing that flights could be canceled due to pandemic or due to just the places that they're flying and due to things still being in flux right now. Things are still changing. The coronavirus hasn't gone away. Lockdowns are coming back in countries like Spain, for example. And to think that's not going to affect the airlines is really short-sighted. And they know that, which is why they don't want to make it easy for you to get a refund, even if they end up canceling the flight on you. And another part of the problem is Turkish Airlines hasn't really made a clear statement on what their policy is or isn't. Like if you look at the passenger rights policy here, you still deserve or you're still entitled to a refund. But on their COVID cancellation page, they have a whole set of different things that they're going to do, which is basically vouchers, miles, or just allow you to change your flight without a fee. So given all of this, given that refunds are going to be very difficult to get, the chance of a canceled flight is pretty high, it doesn't make sense to book with Turkish Airlines right now. If you can book with another airline, then you're probably better off doing that. And I'm not saying other airlines are better at handling refunds or better at handling canceled flights or have dealt with this better. I don't know all the refund policies of different airlines, but I would still do your due diligence and look at what those other airlines' policies are, see what people are saying online, see if you can book with an airline that has a better refund policy for canceled flights, no matter what the reason that they're canceling the flights is. See if you've got an airline that's got better customer service response, for example. Those are the things that you want to look at right now, and Turkish Airlines is really failing on pretty much all of those fronts. Now, there's also something else Turkish Airlines has introduced. Now, this is across Turkish airports, but they basically put a 4-kilogram limit on your carry-on luggage, and you can only bring one big electronic with you. That means either a laptop or camera, for example, which is the example that they used. So if you've got a camera and a drone, for example, and a laptop, you're going to have to check 2 of those 3 things in your checked luggage, which makes it very difficult, I think, for most people to fly If you've got a camera and a microphone and a laptop, for example, you're going to have to check some of those things in that you may not want to check because they might get damaged in the hold, or they may get stolen out of checked luggage, which is not unheard of. So those are some other things to be aware of. Those are some other kind of COVID related policies that are going on right now that you might want to just try to wait out to see if the situation just gets better. You can take your carry-on luggage with you normally like you would on any other flight pre-COVID 2020 times. In the end, I know a lot of good people working at Turkish Airlines. I know the people behind the counter, especially the people on the flights. They work really hard. They really do take care of their customers. So I don't want to hurt their business or take away more money from people who have already gone through hard times, clearly. But these are unprecedented hard times for a lot of people. And a lot of people who are asking for refunds may actually need those refunds. Those refunds, especially now, may be very important for them. For me, I pretty much kissed that money goodbye, although maybe this video helps you and it helps me get a refund from Turkish Airlines. What I would like to see them do is at least communicate clearly with their customers. Have a clear policy. If you booked a ticket before middle of March, pick a date, whatever date that they've set, and they've called out March 10th. So if you booked a ticket before then and we cancel your flight, you get your money back within 30 days. Simple, straightforward. Or if you're not going to refund people, just say it. Just say it. Just say you're never getting your money back. Honestly, I would prefer that honesty to the runaround that we're getting with all this copy pasta and this nonsense talk and all these conflicting policies and everything. Just make it clear. Are you going to refund people or not? Make the decision or not, and then let people book according to that. Just be honest with your customers. And until Turkish Airlines clearly communicates with their customers what their refund policy is going back and going forward, then I would recommend you avoid them if you can, because you don't know, with the high risk of canceled flights and the unlikelihood that you're ever going to get your money back. It's probably better just waiting for a flight, looking for another airline to use, or just doing what a lot of people are doing and just waiting to travel to see where 2020 takes us. So there you have it, just a warning from your friendly neighborhood travel vlogger. Thanks very much for watching this video. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons down below, and I'll have new videos for you every week. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. But I would still do your due